Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to the bar training video done by me, Jared Miller. I even did note cards. I'm no YouTuber, so you gotta bear with me. And my cat and my dog are also roaming the room. So, basically, what I'm doing right now is a bar training video. If you're seeing this video, I wasn't able to make the meeting because I have my orientation / training day at Whitetail because I'm going to be a snowboarding instructor there 1 day a week. So yeah, I couldn't make it. Okay, so basically, I'm just going to start going over the menu from the inside on the top left to the back. So the first drink we're going to go over is the Island Cooler and the Island Kicker. Basically, what you need to know for this is it uses Parrot Bay coconut rum, and it's one of 3 drinks that has peach schnapps in it. This drink is new. It used like we know it as the Kenny's Cooler. That's what it used to be, but I guess Kenny Chesney's contract ran out, so we switched it to the Island Cooler. Same concept, different rum. It's Parrot Bay now. It used to be oh my god, what did it used to be? Blue Cherry Bay coconut rum. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, that's the Island Cooler and the Island Kicker. They're the same exact thing. Island Kickers, Blue Cherry Bay coconut rum, peach schnapps also. The next section we'll go over is our 100 calorie cocktails. The first one is Tito's and soda. That one's pretty self-explanatory. It's literally just Tito's, which is vodka and club soda with a lime. The next one is our cactus water. This one's gonna be Espolón Reposado tequila, and that is also club soda with a lime and a tahini rim. You can recommend it to come with a mango flavoring in it as well. The next one is the Port Rocker. This one's gonna be Deep Eddy's lemonade vodka. And the way I tell people to kind of remember this one is think of a guy named Eddie. He's sitting on a rocking chair in the woods and he's sipping on a lemonade. That's how I was taught to remember it, and that's what I tell everybody. So the Port Rocker is Deep Eddy's lemonade vodka. And this is another drink that you can recommend, like strawberry, raspberry, mango, blackberry, any of those. The next one is the most, not difficult, but the most, like, what's the word? Abstract drink that we have. It's gonna be the Legend. Got the Legend right there. The way I tell people to remember this, which is something that I invented, Luke stole it from me, is grass. Or you could also think of gras, because like Mardi Gras, because that's how it's actually spelled. Basically, the G is for Grand Marnier, which is a type of cordial, which, if they don't know, that is something that you would use to mix into a cocktail to make it more flavorful. It adds a little bit of alcohol and tastes pretty good. And then the next one is the R. R, A, and S are going to be the 3 types of Patrons that we put in the drink. The R is for the Patron Reposado. The A is for Patron Añejo. And the S is for Patron Silver. So G, Grand Marnier, R, Reposado, A, Añejo, S, Silver. This drink can only be served on the rocks. And you can add, it has a black salt rim, and then you could add like a kicker to that, which would be the 1800, which is $2, or the Patron Kicker, which is $3. So the next section is going to be all of our other margaritas. First one is the Hurricane. This one has Captain Morgan, which is a type of rum. And the way I tell people to remember this is a captain would never steer into a hurricane. The next one is the Jamaican Cowboy. This one is Malibu, which is a rum. And this is the second of their drink that uses peach schnapps in it. So the Jamaican Cowboy, Malibu, and peach schnapps. The next one is going to be the Mango. This is one of our just house margarita mixes. You get it frozen on the rocks. And then it comes garnished with mango chunks and tahini. And then we have the Sangria margarita, which is our sangria mix mixed in with our frozen margarita mix. You can get it on the rocks too, but like I always say to get it frozen because that's how the aesthetic of the drink is supposed to look. And then we also have like our fruity margaritas, which we have like strawberry, raspberry, frozen on the rocks. And then I would also make a point to you need to always ask if they want it frozen or on the rocks, if they want salt or sugar on the rim, and then if they want to add a kicker. Kicker, 1800 Patron. And the way like a lot of us say it is just saying, oh, did you want to add like 1800 or Patron to that? And most likely they'll say yes, or they'll say no. It doesn't really matter. Next section we'll go over is our wines. You don't really need to know the types of wines that we have or the names of them. I would just say to know we have either the 6 ounce or the 9 ounce, which is $3 more. We say, like, did you want to make that a Texas pour for $3 more? It's kind of like a little jingle. And then you definitely want to know just like one type of red, one type of white, in case they ask like, oh, which one would you recommend? Next is our Long Islands. We have 3. We have the $5, which is just our base. We have the top shelf, which is more higher end. And then we have the Southern Whiskey, which uses whiskeys. And then for these, like I just tell people to be like, kind of just know what a Long Island is. A Long Island is just basically vodka, gin, and rum with sweet and sour mix. And it's like a splash of Coke on top. Next is the Texas Peach Fuzz. This one in the POS system is rang in as the Tito's Peach Fuzz. So you'll kind of get the hang of it eventually if you don't in the beginning. But basically that is going to be Tito's vodka, which is a Texas brand vodka. And this is the third of 3 drinks that has peach schnapps in it. So it's the Island Cooler, the Jamaican Cowboy, and the Texas Peach Fuzz. Those are the 3. Next is the Old Fashioned. Basically, this is just it's a bourbon, which we use Maker's Mark. They can get whatever kind they want, plus our Old Fashioned mixed. The way I tell people to remember this is like kind of thinking of like an old-fashioned guy drinking he likes bourbon. I don't know. I don't really have a good thing to remember this one. The next one is going to be the Gin Blossom. This one is not a very popular drink, but for people that order it, it's going to be Tanqueray Gin. That's all you really need to know for it. So those are all of our cocktails that we have. And now we'll move on to the beers that we have. We say at Texas Roadhouse, we call them, it's trademarked, ice cold beers. And basically, this is our draft list. We have Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Yuengling, Sam Adams Seasonal, which right now, it's the winter time, so we have the winter lager. And then it's Blue Moon, And then this is a tap that changes constantly. Over summer, it was the Leinenkugel Summer Shandy, and right now it's the Sam Adams Hazy IPA. And then our other IPA on draft, it hasn't changed since I've gotten here. I've heard that sometimes it changes, but I've never seen it change. Is our Trogs Perpetual IPA. So that's all of the draft beers that we have. You'll pick up on all of the other bottle beers that we have over time. Like, they're all on the back of the menu, and people who order a bottle beer or any beer that you know isn't a draft beer, you'll kind of just be like, oh, I think we have that, or like, let me go check real quick, or you'll just catch up on what we have. So next is going to be like the validation portion of it. Basically, on validation, you'll need to know 2 types of each type of alcohol. So I try to teach it like the easiest way possible, going off of the drinks that we have and like the alcohols that they use on the menu. So 2 vodkas is going to be Tito's, which is in the Texas Peach Fuzz, and Deep Eddies, which is in the Porch Rocker. Next is 2 types of tequila. I always say, like, it's easiest to remember the tequilas because of the kickers, so you could do 1800 and Patron. Next is 2 types of rums, and I would say the Captain Morgan and Malibu. Captain Morgan is in the Hurricane, because remember, the captain would never steer into a hurricane, and the Malibu. Oh, and for the Jamaican Cowboy, I tell people, think of like, try to just like put like Malibu and like Jamaica together, because like beach party vibes. So yeah, Captain Morgan and Malibu. 2 gins. These ones people always struggle to remember, and I definitely did too. But 2 gins are Tanqueray, which is in the Gin Blossom, and Bombay. Those are the only 2 gins that we have. So you kind of just have to like try to remember those. And then 2 whiskeys / bourbons are our Jack Daniels and the Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark is in the Old Fashioned. Next is going to be the great portion of things, and over validation, you're going to be scored on naming 3 out of our 6 story points, and 2 of them are super easy to get right off the bat. It's going to be one of the first things you ask, and it's going to be, would you like to try a legendary margarita like blank? You pick whatever one you want. I've always said the mango because I think it's pretty good and it's pretty popular. And then the next thing you would ask is, or an ice cold beer like blank. I say Miller Lite because Miller is my last name, and it was what stuck with me from the beginning. So yeah, those are just 2 easy validation points right off the bat. All right, so that is basically the entire bar menu summed up into right now a 13-minute video. I know it's supposed to be 10 minutes, but basically, final thoughts are, at work, whenever I'm training people, day 3 is I'm constantly drilling them over and over and over again until they get the drinks correct, like for a full menu run through. Like, I go through the menu like probably 10 times over the course of our training shift. It depends on how long I have them, but I like to go over it as many times as possible because that's how most people learn. And whenever I'm teaching people the bar menu, I always take them to the bar so that they can visualize every single bottle. And whenever I teach them GRAS for the legend, I show them like every single one in order, GRAS. And then I show them our draft list. I show them our stocking shelves. And yeah. And then I also always give the trainee a bar menu to take home and study, because like that's the easiest way to learn things. You can look at the pictures, you can read the descriptions, and then I always have them taking notes. And then another thing I definitely do is like reassure them that they're not going to get everything immediately, because it's like a ton of information that you're learning in 4 days, and like it used to be 5 days whenever I started, it was 4, and like I tell people I failed validation the first time, and it's like not a big deal, and not to stress out about it. So yeah, I just reassure them, and I let them know, like, you got to study, you got to get this down. And I always get somebody to send them the Quizlet. I don't have it, but I always get somebody to send it to them. So yeah, that's everything summed up into a 15-minute video. I try to go pretty fast. I know that there was some blank space in there that I could probably take out, but I probably won't because it's 2 in the morning and I got to be up at 6. So thank you for listening to my TED Talk. And yeah.